G'day everybody, and welcome to another Sims 4 speed build. And the idea for this one was actually suggested by one of my subscribers, known affectionately by those who love her as Mittenz. Mittenz said that she was really keen on an architect called Le Corbusier. And he was quite eccentric in the early 1900s. He built some very interesting buildings, and this one is inspired by the Villa Savoye, which is open for viewing if you Google it. I will try and remember to put the wiki page or its web page down in the information below. Basically, his style is that the houses appeared to be floating. So it had a smaller ground floor and then a much larger grander first floor, and sometimes a second and third floors. But the underneath, the base that the house sat on was almost boat shaped. So it had a rounded or sometimes slightly pointed curved wall, I guess, at the entrance underneath. Now, in The Sims, we can't use curved walls at this point in time. And this here, where you can see I'm putting in the entrance wall into sort of like a recessed area, is before I actually went and Googled some more photos of the villa itself. So, yeah, this is where you can see I'm just modifying it so the front is in fact rounded like a boat, and he actually had barred windows on the front of this, and I couldn't really find any that satisfied me. So I found some narrow windows which sort of gave the appearance of being barred, and his bottom floor was partially green. And then the upper floors were like a pure white concrete, or originally white concrete. So we've tried to follow that theme, and he had some interesting designs up on the top, like a couple of almost like steamship funnels. So with the constructions that we have here in The Sims, obviously I couldn't make them too grand, but we have tried to follow the essence of the feeling, and what we've come up with is a 3-bedroom, 4-bathroom family home for The Sims. It's obviously more spacious on the first floor than on the ground floor, and the top floor I've done this little architectural design with some pergola roof, but tried to make it interesting, and tried to keep to the feel of being artistic and open and sort of ready to take sail at any time. So I'm hoping I did meet that. Obviously, I did have to deal with the constraints that The Sims gives us. So I couldn't do the beautiful architecturally curved stairs that he has inside his building. They really are stunning. I really recommend you go and have a look. I had to put up with, you know, an up and then another up. And when The Sims get curved or spiral staircases, I'll be doing this all over again, because I really enjoyed doing this build. Took me ages, but like I said, I really enjoyed it, and I'm pretty happy with the result. I think I would be happy for my Sims to live there. So this is now designing the colours and what is going to be exactly where on the ground floor. So first of all, we start with the kitchen. And I've tried to, the backstory that I've given my particular version is that it was renovated from its early 1900s to a mid-century fashion, or that it was renovated in the mid-century. So I've tried to pick the colour schemes that would have been used around about that time, and some of the building materials like open face brick or open face stone, you know, greens and oranges, lots of pastels, and of course maintaining, like in common areas and what finally becomes our balcony and this beautiful outside area, I've just left bare concrete as a tribute to the original building itself. So here we are going into the kitchen. As I said, mid-century, had those beautiful, grotesque in my view though, orange and green. So we've picked up those colours. We've got beautiful rich floorboard colours. We've gone for a mint green on the walls, and then that beautiful lime, almost into apple green for the overhead cabinets, and we've echoed the mint green again with the stove and the fridge. And a little feature here is a breakfast bar. I didn't want to overdo the greens, so we've gone for orange, and as you can see, green cabinets here just to tie in with the other cabinets. So in the hallway, the floor in the hallway, I have, in that main entrance area, I have left concrete. This is the downstairs bathroom. Some terracotta tiles that are on the floor and on the walls. So, and again, lots of plants. I didn't have any macrame plant holders that I could hang them from, but I certainly made a large number of plant groupings, echoing the colour of the room that they're in. Now we've moved on from the bathroom into the dining room, and again, pastel colours on the walls. We've given it a little bit of a stronger touch with the darker blue there, and it was just about here that I sort of went, didn't put any windows in the dining room. So there we go. We've moved them around, fixed them up, got some actual windows in there, and trying to sort out curtains obviously and decor that matches in. Now for the most part I've tried very hard to keep this base game. However, there are a couple of items in it from the Glamour stuff pack and also the Vampires expansion pack. So my apologies if you don't have those packs. You can easily replace the missing items with base game items without any trouble at all. It's just that I had them there and I just felt they would fit. So again, we're trying to stick to as much as possible concrete in the main areas and white plaster or white concrete walls. Adding a little bit of decor. Now, those of you who are more sharp-eyed will notice that I didn't put a bin in during this build, and I'm not sure if it was in there when I took the screenshots, but there is definitely a bin in the kitchen and there is definitely a bin outside. So here we are putting in a few little decor items to make the kitchen seem like it's a working and homely kitchen and that it's possible for you to cook in there. And not sure that we had microwaves in the mid-centuries, in the 50s and 60s kind of era, but let's face it, you couldn't survive with kids these days without being able to put some noodles in the microwave just to shut them up until dinner time. And now we're moving on to the lounge room with a little study nook on one side. And again, we've gone for those lovely green couches. They probably would have been velvet or velveteen, and we've picked up a few plants in there again to mirror that green or tie that green colour in together, and some lovely green curtains to match. And I do actually move that sofa out of the curtains just so that you're aware. I think you can see it in the screenshots. And choosing some lighting, I thought some standing lamps which fits in with the era would be really nice, and getting some exterior lighting so that we can see our way around. Now we're just about to, we need Yep, we've redone the carpet in there to give it a bit of a stronger tone, and a rug for under the dining room table. And now we're about to move upstairs. And this is the balcony. Again, I'm just putting bare concrete on it, and bare concrete in that main open walkway area. For the 3 bedrooms upstairs, I've chosen pastel colours, a pale pink, a pale blue, and cream. So the first room we go to work on is the girls' room, obviously pink. Each of the bedrooms here have a fully ensuite bathroom with matching or toning colours. And I had a little bit of trouble deciding on what to put in the bathroom here, but I think eventually what I decided on I'm quite happy with. So yeah, we can still do a little bit of decorating. Okay, so we do. I was just putting some lights up so that I could see what was going on. So here we are headed into the girls' room. I decided on 2 beds in a much brighter clashing shade of pink, because we know that little girls love all the bright colours. And that beautiful bubble rug, again, toned in just perfectly with the look that we were going for. And I thought with the doll's house, I would go for something super architectural and super interesting, something that perhaps Le Corbusier would have designed himself and made in miniature. Now, I don't know what happened to this window, but I replaced it, solved the problem. It was a pain in the proverbial getting those curtains to stick to it. So I'm glad we replaced it. And there we go. And now we're getting a little bit of decor in for the girls' room. I love that poster, but it just didn't quite fit. So I thought those musical ones, as I have put a couple of, you may not be able to see them yet, there's one. I actually put a couple of little violins in for them, hoping that they're a little bit musically inclined. And I thought the musical pictures on the wall would sort of carry that theme through. Little girl's bathroom, again, more pink. We've picked up some of that really bright fuchsia pink in the cupboards that we finally decide on, which are a little bit more of on the purple side or the magenta side, but they work in with the beds as well. And we've just filled it up with lots of little knick-knacky stuff that girls' bedrooms are likely to have, little girls' bedrooms particularly, you know, some nail polish and some bits and pieces. And there you go, it's a second violin going in there. And I thought this room could be a teenager's room, perhaps a boy. I'm not, what is it? Colorist. If a girl wants to have a blue room, that's fine by me. If a boy wants to have a pink room, that's absolutely fine by me. Little bit of trivia is that the pink and blue trend was started by Queen Victoria, who at that time all baby fashions were pink. All newborn babies wore pink for the first 3 or 4 years of their lives, and when her first son was born, she wanted something different. She wanted something that made him stand out from the crowd, so she chose blue. And of course everybody wanted to jump on the fashion bandwagon and chose blue for their little boys as well. So here's the teenager's room. He's got lots of posters on the wall, a guitar. I'm saying he because, well, because. And into the bathroom, we have more space in here. Obviously it's a teenager. He's going to want a little bit more space to throw his or her dirty clothes on. And I don't know, that the toilet roll, just some walls, it just does not want to go. So I skipped it, threw some washing on the floor, put a big mirror in there, and some towels, I think. Yep. Excuse me. And thought that that was as good a bathroom as any for a teenager. Of course, we've got to have all the smellies. because I know particularly teenage boys like to wear all of the aftershave in existence if they're going out. So I made sure to put plenty there for him or her. And here we are onto the master bedroom. I've tried to make it feel really quite luxurious, and perhaps even a little bit over the top. We've gone for furniture that's kind of shaped like, and I think these are from maybe even the bowling stuff pack. Mirrors to light up and bring all that gorgeous light and reflect and make that room look much bigger. I don't want to comment on anything else that you'd use a mirror for in an adult's bedroom. And again, we try and get some as much of the beautiful decor in there as possible. We try and get those curtains, make it look quite plush and, you know, almost overstuffed. And just replacing paintings because I like them better in the parents' bedroom. And now onto their bathroom, and again we want over the top for this, so we've gone for gold with the cream, and some of the items don't size up very well, so we've got gold trimmed mirrors, we've got lights over the mirrors, there's much more lighting in there as well, beautiful gilt wall lamps. We've got all of the accessories and all of the stuff that either gendered parent might want, and you know, it's really, like I said, it feels opulent and overstuffed and exaggerated, and I would imagine for a very artistic minded and somewhat, oh God, and there goes that clock again, my apologies, somewhat perhaps eccentric architect, that their furniture, that their rooms might be a little bit on the out there side. So here we've gone to what I've called the great room. This is a combination of sitting room and skill building room. So we have a chessboard, we have musical instruments, we'll deal with the easel in a minute. It's a shame they don't have a keyboard like they did in Sims 3, because I would have really liked to put a keyboard in. It just felt like a piano didn't fit, like a grand piano didn't really fit the theme. But so again, we've picked up the green and the orange with the floorboards and the furniture, and some gorgeous little statues. We've got again some green wooden shelves, probably stained or painted rather than, well, stained probably rather than painted, but you know, and given a distressed look, and that would have been appropriate for the time, with lots of little knickknacks on the shelf. And this room is probably the one where I would say the family would spend most of their time, that this would be the room where they would hang out. There is not a television in here, but there is an old-fashioned stereo or a gramophone, and again, there's lots of greens. I've left the walls white, and you can see I didn't go too far with the green. We put the white blinds up there just so that, and then I kind of wanted a bit of a room divider to give it a little bit of a sense of more than one space in the one room. So we set up some plants as a room divider, and then put a couple of ottomans down and put up one of those screens so that it feels like it's several different spaces in the one room. Or at least that's what I was going for. And here we've got a little reading corner. We've got a little games table there, and again we're doing some clumps of plants because this room would almost act like a sunroom with all of these windows, so you would expect them to have lots and lots of plants and lots of greenery in there. So this open area I've kind of turned into an artist studio with all that beautiful light. I thought it would be beautiful for it to have a purpose that was appropriate. So I've kind of made the rest of it look a bit like an art gallery. So we filled it with pictures and paintings and made it feel like perhaps this was the artist's display area, and you know, somewhere where they could bring guests to say, look at all my beautiful paintings, look what I've done. And again, a little quiet nook where somebody can pop their feet up. Oops, sorry, I just knocked my mic, so you'll hear that. And again, more plants, more greenery. We're following that green theme through as much as we possibly can. Just changing over the lighting here so that we get something that's a little more appropriate, and making sure that our Sims can see wherever they're going and don't have to stumble around in the dark. And onto the, it's a balcony rather than a patio, but we've treated it like a patio. We're going to put a barbecue out there and some lighting. Because it's got a roof, it means that we can hang lights from it. It's almost, I guess, like a what do you call them? Now see, words are gone. But it's like a patio that's under the main roof. So I'll remember in a minute. And we're putting some, you know, some greenery out there to make it feel like it's outdoors rather than indoors. And we're putting some splashes of colour around. We've put multicolored chairs because, again, everything now is white concrete. So out here, the floors, the walls, so the only way to bring in colour is with our furniture. And again, I would imagine as an artist that he would have had so much colour and so many ideas for this. And then on the top floor, I haven't wanted to spoil the purity or the starkness of the white concrete and white plaster up there. So I've just put a couple of pieces of gym equipment up there and just left it. Now we're onto the gardens. The actual Villa Savoye is surrounded, it's like in the middle of a forest. So again, I wanted to echo that, but I wanted to bring it into the more modern times, and I want to give it some brightness and some colour and some interest that might draw people out into the garden as well. So we've put a few trees around as a tribute to the forest, and also some rocks. Now you can see over the back of the property there's a pond where you can go fishing, and there's a few rocks around there. So I thought I would follow that theme and bring that into this lot. And now I'm putting some bright wildflowers and brightly coloured flowers in amongst the rocks, and we're doing a beautiful hedge here around that white concrete area to really give it a stark delineation, so that one side is garden, one side is concrete, and you can't kind of walk off where you feel like it. And I'm putting some lights into the hedges so that at night time the bottoms of those hedges will be beautifully lit. I'm not sure if you really get the effect in The Sims, but in real life I really enjoy having lights in amongst plants and you know, shining up tree trunks and stuff, because it just feels attractive. And now I've got some daisies, and what I'm doing is just blurring the edges. The clumps of rocks are quite delineated. The flowers were all in the clumps of rocks, you know, in the piles of rocks. So now we're just spreading those daisies out to give it the appearance of it's growing a little bit wild. And now I'm painting some dirt back in amongst the flowers and under the rocks and things, just to give it a more natural look. Nothing would grow, grass would not grow under a rock. So this is our attempt to make it look a little bit natural, and you can see there's a walking path off the back of that concrete there, which if people were using that as an entrance and an exit, that's exactly what would happen. The grass would wear away. So that's what we're doing, making it look a little bit natural, and we're just headed towards, we're just about done, we're just headed towards the screenshots. In just a couple of seconds we'll be able. Okay, so here we go onto our screenshots. This is the building, and you can see the bottom part is quite small. Our entrance, the walk up to the entranceway, there is a letterbox and a bin there now. This is the kitchen. Our downstairs bathroom, I really like how that came out. This is the dining room. Again, I really like the colours in there, surprisingly. The lounge room, downstairs lounge room, formal lounge room, and our little study nook. And I've tried to find that little computer that looks like it might be from, a century ago. The girls' bedroom, it's pretty in pink, and the girls' bathroom with all the little knickknacks. Onto the teenagers' bedroom with posters and a guitar, and the teenagers' bathroom with clothes everywhere. The parents' bedroom, plush and luxurious, little corner for a private conversation perhaps. And then their over-the-top gold bathroom. I really like it. This is the great room or the sunroom, our little reading corner, and all of our little knickknacks over there, and our little seating area with some books and some items of interest. And this is outside to the balcony with our beautiful bright light colours, and this is our floor plan. That's the top floor. The middle floor, as you can see, it's just a box, and our bottom floor. I'm really happy with how it came out. I hope you enjoyed it. Have a great day.